Tracks. Let's talk music.
Hi, welcome to Setting Tracks. How you doing? I hope you're doing extremely well. So it's mystery record number 2. So for people that don't know what it is, I've got this wonderful thing for Christmas. It's a calendar of the top 100 records and albums you must listen to before you die, apparently. So I'm basically going through the records and I'm listening to them each week with a friend of mine, and we're going to sit and talk about the record. But I'm not on my own today. I've got a wonderful guest with me. I've got the wonderful Rosie Chapman, one of my besties. Hello, Rosie.
Hello there.
So tell us a bit about yourself.
So I have been working as a professional singer, as some would say, for the last 8 years. I normally go away for the summer, do like a 6-month thing abroad. But I'm back at the moment in England, and I'm a big Dolly Parton fan.
So the album we're going to look at today is Dolly Parton's Jolene album from 1974. It's got 3 hits on it already. We're going to go through them in sequence as well. A fantastic album. So did you listen to it during the week?
I did, yes.
You did, yeah, cool. And do you like country? Do you have, what's your relationship to country music? Do you like it? Do you not like it? You're indifferent?
I love country music. Big fan. Yeah. Even went to Nashville in November, just to be amongst the live country music. But yeah, I'm a big country music fan.
Oh, really? See, I love that relationship with country music because my dad was a country musician, and I had to spend every weekend as a teenager going to see him play, which was brilliant. But it was I just heard it too much growing up.
Yeah, but I just think it's like, honestly, it's the storytelling of it.
Yeah,
I love it. You know, one minute someone's at a bar with a beer, and then the next minute they're trying to buy their horse back. And I think it makes for incredible lyrics.
I mean, you've got lots of country now because you've got those sort of rap country people now, haven't you, as well? So
yeah. It's gone back mainstream, I'd say. There's like a couple of artists. There's like one called like Luke Combs who like headlined in the UK. He was like going around like the O2. They have Country to Country Festival every March as well at the O2, where they have like massive country music. So yeah, there are quite a few. Like Ed Sheeran's done a collab with a few country musicians. So I think it's working its way back into the mainstream.
And why not? Some of the old stuff's absolutely amazing, especially Johnny Cash live at San Quentin.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so shall we have our intro before we get into it?
Go on then.
Let's do it. So Jolene was released in February the 4th, 1974 on RCA Victor. It did quite well, went to number 6 in the Billboard Top Country chart, but you figure it would have gone higher as well, wouldn't you, as well? The title track, Jolene, was a single in October 73, and that reached number 1. So it did a little bit higher than the album as well. I Will Always Love You is off the same album as well, second release from March 1974. I thought these songs were a bit later. I didn't realise they were early 70s. I thought they were a little bit later. Dolly wrote 10 tracks on the album as well, so she wrote a lot of those as well. It had really good critical praise at the time for emotional depth, lyrical power, and Dolly's singing. We'll go through that in a minute. And then we're going to do a third single, When Someone Wants to Leave. That's a really good track, actually. I listened to that one this morning. And they now consider it one of Dolly's classic albums of the 1970s.
I love the album. I must say, though, when you listen to it as one whole chunk, it's very samey. There's not a lot of I find Jolene's quite different in terms of like the actual instrumentation, stuff like that. But for the most part, it's all very samey, which is fine because, you know, she's not releasing them all as singles. But as an album, I mean, it works in the fact that, you know, the album sound is all quite similar. But yeah, it's a little bit samey, but it does have some of my favourite Dolly Parton songs on it.
Okay, so
you can't, you know, write an album and expect people to love every single one of them.
Unless you're the Beatles. Okay, so we'll start at Jolene. So Jolene came out in 1973. That's the title track of the album and the first track on the album as well. It number 1. Apparently the inspiration came to Dolly after a red-headed bank clerk. I can't say that right. A bank clerk was flirting with her husband.
Bank clerk,
that's it. Was flirting with her husband, Carl Dean, early in their marriage. So it was basically written about the jealousy that happened. And apparently the name Jolene came from a young fan who asked for an autograph and she liked the name. So she put the two together and did it that way as well. It's been covered by hundreds of people, the White Stripes, Miley Cyrus, Olivia Newton-John. And apparently she wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same day as well. So she wrote both those tracks at the same time as well. Apparently, it didn't win a Grammy originally, but in 2017, a collaboration with Pentatonix, you know, the a cappella group.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, apparently won a Grammy for it then as well. And it's basically listed as one of Dolly's best as well. It's in C sharp minor as well, which is an unusual haunting melody.
Yeah.
Track. Have you ever heard it when they've slowed it down? Have you heard that? So instead of playing at 45, it's 33.
No.
There's a version of that flying around. I'll put a link in the description. And it makes it sound really creepy because it's really...
It does have, It does have, when you listen to it, it does have that kind of feel to it. I guess that's the minor key as well, isn't it? That adds to that sort of weird, creepy feel. Also, that sort of like banjo in it as well is quite a strange instrument to really hear it like the forefront of something. I find that quite unusual as well.
And then when you slow it down as well, it's really, really sort of...
really
creepy and dark.
He's out to get Jolene.
Yeah, and the voice goes down again. The thing about Jolene is when you listen to it as a song, it's really heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Says, you know, you can easily get my man, but I can never understand where it is, isn't it? Like, she's basically saying, you will take this man if you try. And I'm lose. And she knows she's going to lose. And that's the good part, isn't it? It's really strange.
But that's what's the thing with country music, though. That's what I mean. It's so storytelling.
Yeah.
I find that they literally, from beginning and end, it's all storytelling. And, you know, as you say, she's inspired by just seeing this ginger woman speaking to her husband, and she's now wrote an entire song about it.
Yeah. And it's basically the fact that she's threatened by this other woman, and she knows the other woman could take her man at any point. And she's like, you know, don't do it. Please don't do it. And it's begging not to do it in it as well.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, at the album, it's almost like a concept album, because the next one is When Someone Wants to Leave. So is the idea that Jolene's turned up, she said, I like you, and then he's now going, I want to go. Yeah, I mean, it's... I
did find that a lot with a lot of them, you know, the songs on the album are all almost talking about her and a partner and, you know, like, I will always love you, things like that. It's almost like he's now gone, but she's expressing that actually, I'll always love you. There's a lot of that with the lyrics in this album. I think it's almost like... But then I find that with a lot of Dolly's stuff anyway, is that she does always write from that part where you'd think that she had like a really almost like unhappy marriage, or like, you know, she's been divorced like however many times, but actually she was with her husband for so many years and kind of kept him out of the public eye, but yet she was like writing these songs that like these women are singing as almost anthems to the fact of like, you know, leaving their husbands or, you know, breakup songs, and actually she's like in this really committed, incredible relationship, which I always find quite funny as well. She's writing these anthems that these people are singing.
He was never in the public eye, was he, as well? He was always like, had a mask on and things like this. He's like the rock band Kiss. You never saw what he looked like.
He might not have even existed. He might have just been, of her imagination. Yeah. You never
actually passed away recently as well, so he's not around anymore, bless him. So, but no, can we have another quick Dollyism? Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it. Any particular page, or would you like me to just find one for you?
You can find a rough page and go.
Okay, I found one that's quite a classic one. It's probably heard by a lot of people. It says, it costs a lot of money to look this cheap. Sensational.
Yeah, so you've got on it, you've got When Somebody Wants to Leave, River of Happiness, yet again talking about like being in a happy relationship, Early Morning Breeze, Highlight of My Life, talking like, so it's amazing that this album has Jolene's partner, who you don't ever see, with all these songs about him, yet you go for an entire relationship with the pair of them, if you see what I mean, without even who this man is or who he is.
Man is
amazing.
Yeah,
it's incredible. And the second biggest track off it, of course, is I Will Always Love You, which is one of the biggest songs of all time. Right, so it was written in 1973. Dolly wrote I'll Always Love You as a heartfelt farewell to a manager, Paul Wagoner, when she decided to do a solo career. She released it twice, one in 74 and then in 82. The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
No, I've not seen that one. Apparently Elvis wanted to record it, but he wanted half the publishing. Tom Parker wanted half, so she said no, which is an amazing thing to do because it would have made millions if Elvis had done it as well. Obviously Whitney Houston did it in 1992 for the Bodyguard soundtrack, became a global hit. Dolly made millions from the single. She kept the publishing rights, and she said she made more money to buy her wigs. So apparently she bought her wigs with it. It was a business she had in Nashville. Okay, fair enough then. It's a simple song but really emotional, and she wrote it the same day as Jolene. I mean, I can't now hear that version of it without the Whitney Houston version of the that little sort of extra note she puts in. You know, like she goes that da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
the original version is different to me. Do you think it's the same song, or is it completely different to you?
I mean, it's different. It's definitely different. Like talking in like singing style as well. You know, Whitney Houston is like belting out the "I will always love you," and as you say, there's that. And Dolly does do it, but she's just kind of, it's more of like a country tone to it. She's doing like a, she's just sort of falling off the note, whereas Whitney's kind of giving it her all. But I love hearing originals of songs anyway. I always find that, you know, emotion-wise, I feel more in Dolly's, because obviously she's wrote it as a farewell, as a goodbye. And I love she does this little talking bit in the middle, which I would hate anyone else to do. And she just speaks the lyrics, you know, I hope life treats you kind, all of this stuff. And I just think it's like, as you say, it's like a letter. And I think you can get that from Dolly Parton's version. I'm a big fan of her version. I love what Whitney did with it.
Yeah.
But I do just love, and the simplicity of the, because obviously in the Whitney you get the sort of drums, the do 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 before the big bit. Yeah. And you don't get any of that with Dolly's, but you get more of like simple, you know, more gentle instruments. And yeah, I'm a big fan of Dolly's version, I must say. I'm probably unbiased, but I think it's beautiful. Also, it's a lot easier to sing. So as a singer, I can get away with, well, I can try and get away with singing Dolly Parton's version if I just clarify I'm not trying to be Whitney, I am doing Dolly's version. But yeah, she has this gorgeous like country twang where it's this like vibrato that she has, and she just sort of like slides along notes, and it's only she can do it. I've not heard anyone even in like country music that has managed to sing the same way as Dolly. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that her version is the raw version. I don't mean raw as a demo, but the raw emotional version of it. Like you say, with the talking, which Whitney didn't do, you have that sort of, it's more emotional, isn't it, when it's talking in records? Yeah.
Well, it almost feels like it's coming at you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just that thing of, you take a step back from the music for a second, and actually when you're writing lyrics, you are almost telling stories. And you know, if someone writes a song for you, it's things that they want to tell you, and it's almost stripping back all of that and just being like, no, this is what I want to say to you. Yeah. And I just love that bit. It always gives me goosebumps. I don't do the talking though. If I cover it, I do sing the words, because I would not like to do that.
I think it's a bit like in what's the ABC, Look of Love, where he goes in the middle, he goes, oh, sometimes I say Martin, well, you're like, and he's almost like, oh, they keep hassling me, you know. And talking, and it's, if he just said, sometimes Martin, they say to me, like, it wouldn't work. It's the and he goes, oh, I don't know, like, and it's that
yeah,
that's to bring,
it's human as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
I find.
Yeah, and that's why I think music today is afraid to do that sort of thing. They're afraid to be that brave and have talking in records. You don't really get it anymore, do you? The closest I think you would get now would be Billie Eilish in Bad Guy. But then she's singing the... It's
a sing talk, yeah.
Yeah, it's not actually talking, is it? And you get a flavour of the voice of the emotion, stuff like that. So, yeah, that I think that's why that song will always be like another level. Whichever version. It's a bit like Tainted Love, the original version. The soul version is really stompy and... kind of like, it has more raw emotion to it, and it's a woman.
It's very vulnerable, I'd say. Like it's quite exposing as well. As soon as you start talking, you know, in a song, you can hear the difference between when you're singing and what, you know, things you've got on there. If you've got loads of reverb and echo and stuff like that, and if you jump to then talking, whereas if you listen to it as a whole, you don't even sort of notice a change in the vocals when she's talking. It's almost like then the whole of it is just this beautiful, like softly sung, spoken. Yeah, incredible song.
Also, it's a lovely trick to make you sort of like lean in a bit, isn't it? Like
yeah,
like anyway, did it like, oh, hang on, what?
And to listen to the words, like, you know, I think sometimes we just subconsciously sing so many songs and you don't really realize what you're singing until I find it's only really when I'm learning a song that I'm then like, did they say that? Like, is that what I'm singing? Whereas, you know, sometimes it's nice to like hear the actual lyrics that are being said.
Yeah,
you know, it can mean so much to you, but also it meant so much to them, and I think that's always lovely with music.
I mean, it's a lovely album, and it's got lots of highlights on it. I think the 2 tracks she released are the standout tracks on it. I think the rest is very good. Yeah. But I think they're the 2. So musical style, like for people that haven't heard the album, it is a pure country album, isn't it?
There's banjo,
bass,
ukulele,
and so if you want to me, it would be an iconic country sound. If you said to me like, what does country music sound like, you would play like, well, there's two kinds of countries, isn't there? There's lots of genres in it, but this is early country where it's not contrapolation where you got lots of strings on it and stuff like that. This is literally drums, bass, and banjo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's early country, which sounds amazing. Dolly's vocal performance through the album, how do you rate that?
Yeah, sensational. As I say, she's got this kind of this voice that you just can't mimic. I find it, it's really interesting. And obviously when you're a country, you know, you're from somewhere. I think she's from Tennessee. And, you know, so she already has that natural tone that's going to help her really, you know, stand out in a country album. But as I say, she just has this incredible ability to do this like slow vibrato, but still stick to every note. Because sometimes when you're doing a slow vibrato, it's so easy to kind of like slip and slide. But she just sometimes just sort of drops off the note in the most beautiful way and comes back up. And yeah, she doesn't, you know, she has an incredible voice, but she doesn't oversing, which I find is another thing that a lot of people do. She just sort of gently goes along it all. And yeah, I mean, she's an incredible singer.
Like they say, before auto-tune, there was talent. I think that's...
Yeah. And she's got tons of it.
Other influences on that album, I can't actually hear any. Like, you know, you sort of think, oh, that could sound a bit like so-and-so and so. Like, well, that album is a standalone, isn't it? It's that anybody else. And you can't hear any influences. Yeah.
I think the exact same. When I was kind of listening to it, because I was like, you know, in my head I was thinking like, this is from the 70s. So I couldn't even really hear, you know, I was then thinking about maybe anyone from the 70s that it would potentially be like, or someone from the 60s, which she's picked up. But yeah, it's very standalone. But then maybe her inspirations were maybe from more country music that isn't in the mainstream, that maybe we don't hear because of where we're from. Maybe if you were in like America or in those kind of countries, you know, Tennessee or Texas or anywhere like that, maybe we would, you know, have noted someone else that kind of influenced her. But yeah, for me, I've never heard anything like it. And also for it to then be so big in the UK is quite, you know, bizarre, because it's such a different style of music to what we would maybe have been listening to in the 70s.
Yeah.
I say we. I wasn't alive in the 70s.
Neither was I when this album came out, so you can have that.
Okay, there you are.
One I wasn't alive for. Yeah. Production quality. The production on the album is amazing, isn't it? It's got a lovely sound as well.
Lovely sound. And as I said, like everything just sound like, you know, I was listening to it the other day and almost it was so streamlined from one song to the next. So like the whole like mixing and master and everything of it is really clean, really, like they've really looked at it as a whole. And I even feel like maybe the instrument she's picked, the sound, like the band, everything is so, there's such a continuity with it that it's almost like she's deliberately, like you've sat down and you've just watched her with the same band behind her, just doing the exact same concert the entire way through the album. And to me, the only two that do sound slightly different are Jolene and I Will Always Love You. And I think they've got slightly different, as you say, Jolene's a bit, you know, darker and deeper in its banjo and stuff. But yeah, as a whole, I think, yeah, it's got absolutely great production.
Yeah.
You can just sit and listen to it and, you know, from it, you don't even know where it begins, where it ends, where the next song's coming. I feel like we're straight away going into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely got like a circular sound to it, isn't it? You could, like, if you could put it on loop, it would just keep looping around. It's fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
So would you recommend this album to someone? And if you sort of did, how would you sell the album?
Oh, I would obviously recommend this album to someone. How would I sell it? I mean, I feel like even if you love your partner or your husband, you can get on board with what Dolly's saying. When you hear about Jolene, when you hear about everything, and it's just, as I say, I think because it's this kind of lyrics that tell a story, everyone can relate to it. And it's just that easy listening. There's not, you know, moments where you feel like sometimes when I was listening to it, my brain was almost switched off, but I could still just hear it in the background. And it's such an easy listen. You don't have to be like, you know, drilled into it to listen to it. But yeah, I think it's smooth, easy listening, beautiful lyrics. And then you've got two of the, you know, #1 Dolly Parton songs. If only 9 to 5 was on it as well, and then it'd be flying off the shelves.
That'd be great.
But yeah, easy listen, perfect. And she's such a wonderful woman. I love her as a person as well.
Brilliant. Can we have one more Dollyism before you go? All right. Oh.
I should have prepared what ones to think.
Do you want a number?
I'm just going to pick a random one, I think.
Okay, cool.
You ready?
Yeah.
If you see someone without a smile, give them yours.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Thanks for joining us, Rosie. You've been absolutely amazing.
Thank you for having me.
And you can come back for the next one, I
It's
take
been a
it.
pleasure. Yeah, if I'm invited back, who knows?
Of course you are. Thanks, Rosie.
Thank you so much. See you later.
So thanks for joining us on this episode of Mystery Record. Great fun, as it is. We're going to do another one soon as well. We'll have more guests along. It turns out 70% of the people that watch this channel don't subscribe to it, and neither the first-time subscribers. So if you can subscribe and help me out, that'd be absolutely amazing. Also, I do a show with my mate called The Flip Side of Pete and Robbie, where we take a look at unsigned bands and artists. We get them on, interview them, and basically chat to them, and it's really good fun. And we have a good laugh, and it's a musical hangout. So subscribe if you don't miss that as well. But yeah, I've got all sorts of stuff on here for you. I've got deep dives, interviews. I've got reaction videos, all sorts of bits and bobs. So if you subscribe, you ain't going to miss any of that. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining us. Love and peace.